Hello my lovelies, today I will be showing you how to crochet the curl stitch, curl increase and curl decrease, as well as other tips on how to sculpt Lollipop's face and assemble your lamb. If you would like the full written pattern, it's available on Ravelry. I will leave a link in the description for you. Let's get started. So far I followed along the pattern for the face. Let's make a few curl stitches together. You start by chaining 7. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7. Then you skip the first chain from your hook and work into the second one. And you make 2 single crochet stitches in the next 6 chains. That's 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1. You see how it wants to go up 2. Then, now that you see your curl forming, you go into the back bump of your second single crochet stitch. Just go into that stitch and you start your following stitch. Pull through and pull through that bump as well, and then you finish the single crochet stitch. And there you have it. We've made our first curl stitch. I'll do it again with you a few times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7. Remember, your curl stitch does not count as a stitch. It is a stitch that sits in front of your work to create the texture. It's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Sometimes you'll have to move the curl away, out of the way, so that you can see your work easier, but you get used to it. You're going to be making a lot of these stitches in this project. Into the back bump and into your stitch, out of the stitch and out of the back bump, and finish your single crochet. I use charity double knit for this project, but you can use any yarn of your choice as long as it is the same weight. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7. 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Into the back bump, you see that one, not the full V, but the one behind it. Go into that stitch and into your next stitch and pull through both, and then finish your single crochet. I'll do it one more time with you. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 chains. There's 1 increase. I refer to them as increases in the pattern because it's 2 stitches in the same stitch. 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Into the back bump, into the back bump and into the stitch, out of the stitch and out of the back bump, and complete your single crochet. You can follow along the written pattern now, and I will show you how to do the curl decrease, because that is up next. Okay, I am back and I will show you how to do the curl decrease now. This is one of the rows I've highlighted in the pattern, so I will be doing the whole row with you. Let's get started. We start with making 3 single crochet stitches. That is 1, 2, and 3. Your curl stitch, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. 6 increases in the chains. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Right, now next, go into the second back bump of your curl, into the front loop of your next stitch, into the front loop of the next stitch. You see you should have 4 loops on your hook. So 2 of the decrease, 1 of the back bump, and your working loop. So you go through the first 3 loops on your hook and you finish your stitch. Okay, it's 1, 2, and 3 single crochet stitches. The curl stitch is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, and 1, 2. Okay, into the back bump. You know the drill. Into the back bump, into the front loop of the next stitch, into the front loop of the next stitch, through the first 3 loops, and finish your stitch. 1, 2 and 3, curl stitch, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7, okay, into the back bump and into the next stitch, to the next stitch front loop, and pull through the first three loops and finish your stitch. Again, 3 single crochet stitches. It's 1, 2 and 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2 and 1, 2. My husband usually likes to mock me. Can't you count further than 2? Shame. Front loops through the first 3 loops and finish your stitch. We've got 2 more to go. 1, 2, 3 single crochet stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Into the front loops, your next 2 stitches. Wait. Okay. Through the first 3 loops and complete your stitch. Almost there. 1, 2 and 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, into the back bump and into the first front loops, pull through the next 3 loops and finish your stitch. There you have it. We've done the curl stitch decreases. Now I'm going to show you how to get started on the body and how to make the curl increases. You start with your magic ring. You wrap your yarn around your finger, hold it with your thumb, around 2 fingers, let it cross in the bottom, go under the first loop, over the second and pull it through. Give it a little twist and pick up your working yarn and pull through. Okay, so when starting the body, you start with the curl stitch. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7, and it is 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2 and 1, 2. Okay, so that's your first go. Going to the second bump, and into your magic ring, pull up a loop, pull through the bump and finish your first single crochet. Okay, and then you make 5 more single crochets. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So in total you must have 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 single crochets. And you pull tight your magic ring. Now make sure you go into the right stitch when you start. Okay, if you want to make sure, just count back 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. So go into that one. Okay, that is 1, 2, and then you can secure your tail. Pull up a loop with your working yarn, put it aside, into your second stitch, pull up a loop and pull through. Okay, this makes a little knot. You can repeat it, pull through, make a little knot, pull through, make a little knot. And that is not coming loose, I promise you. And you can just crochet over it normally. You will not see this little knots. It's 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2 and 1, 2. Okay, you can count your stitches. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yes. I like to mark my last stitch. It's just easier. A lot of people like to mark the first stitch. Whichever way, it's fine. Whatever works best for you. Okay. If you still want to secure your tail even more, go ahead, do that. There's nothing wrong with making sure everything is extra secure. It's 1 and a normal increase. Is 1 and increase, 1 and increase, 1 and increase, 1 and increase, 1 and increase. Okay, so the following row will have curl increase stitches. So I'll be working this row with you, and yeah, and the rest of the pattern you can follow along because there's nothing complicated further along. So it's 1, 2 single crochets, make a single crochet in the next stitch. That's like, this is the curl increase, single crochet, and then make your curls. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. And is 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, and 1, 2. Okay, into the back bump, and then work into the same stitch you've just worked out of. Pull up a loop, pull through the back bump, and finish your stitch. That is 2 stitches in 1 stitch. Okay, let's do it again. It's 1 single crochet, 1 single crochet, and then the curl stitch increase. It starts with a single crochet and the curl. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And then into that same stitch, pull up a loop, pull through the bump, and finish your increase stitch. Again, so 1 single crochet, 1 single crochet, and then the curl increase. 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, and then into the same stitch make a single crochet through the bump and finish your increase stitch. Okay, it's again 1, 2, and increase, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And into the same stitch and finish your stitch. We have 2 more to go. I'll quickly make them with you. That's 1, 2, then the curl increase, it's a single crochet with a curl, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. And into the same stitch, block loop, and finish your increase. Last one, so 1, 2 single crochets, and then the increase. So 1, in, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And finish your increase into the same stitch. Okay, so now we've got everything sorted for our lamb, and all of the other information is available in the written pattern. So we'll see you at the assembly point. So we've completed our head, but Eileen, this doesn't look like this. Well, I'm going to show you how to sculpt the face to make it look like this. Now obviously if you're going to be using safety eyes, you put it in before you stuff your face. But I'm going to be embroidering the eyes on this one. I'm going to make a sleepy lamb. Okay, so let's get started. Put this aside. If you remember in the first section in the introduction, the first lamb I I showed you had a little indent on his forehead. That's because I went in here with my needle and it made a little indent. I'm going to show you how to avoid that mistake. Go in at the hairline, now at the very tippy top. Go down with your needle, come out at about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. At row 7, almost. Just wiggle it till you get the spot, yes. And pull through your yarn, keeping a long piece still out. Right. And then you find a spot just above that, and you go back into it with your needle and back to where you started. This will make the indent for the mouth. As you can see, it's already starting to form, and you pull it tight. Now I would like just secure it a little bit, just make a small stitch to secure it. And you can also repeat the same step just for extra security. Let me just find the right spot again. There we go. And then back up and out. Pulling it nice and tight. Making a small knot. Don't worry, you won't see it, it's in the hairline. Okay, so that part is done. See, you can add the lip. At any time now. Now to make a little indent of the eyes. I still have a long piece of yarn left, so I'm not going to cut. I'm going to use the same yarn. Find the spot I want to make the indent. Pull it out. And go right across. And pull it out. Pull it tight. You can even make a little indent with your thumb to help you find your spot. And pull tight. See? Little indents. You can also repeat this step to secure it. It's not necessary, but I like to do it the extra 1 or 2 times just to be sure. Okay. So now I'm going to be embroidering eyelids. You can embroider 2 rows across in line. And make a few stitches, just simple plain stitches. This is just going to be eyelids and not fancy eyes, like with pupils and different colors. And it's just going to be a sleepy little lamb. And then embroider a few stitches across. And then you find where you've started. You see there? Pull your needle out as close as possible as there. Knot the 2 strands together to secure them. Put them aside. And now take your wire brush and very carefully only brush the eyes. This will make it fluffy and easier to felt with the felting needle. But you don't want all the rest of the face, only the eyes. You can also use roving instead, but I don't usually find roving exact same color as the yarn I'm working with. So this is what I do. Safety eyes could pose a choking hazard if they could come loose or maybe bites the post off, or I'm very paranoid when it comes to child safety. And also this needle is very thin, so work carefully with it. If it breaks, you're not going to have a fun time to find this needle because you have to remove it. I'm fortunate enough that I've never broken a felting needle before, but I can only imagine. I can also imagine the horrors of finding one. Yikes. Poking out of your toy. Okay. Then we have our eyes, and then we just embroider with a piece of black yarn, little eyelids under, little hairs under the eyes. Okay, so with black yarn or crochet thread, just underneath that line, embroider a thin line under your eye for the eyelid. You can shape your eyelid by small embroidery stitches. There you go, sleepy eyes. What I like to do is just knot the two pieces together. And cut the little piece off, throw this away, and tuck it inside with a small scissor or crochet hook. If you wiggle it around between the stuffing, it gets worked into the stuffing and it's not coming out ever again. Okay, now for the snout. Let's see. We will embroider a small Y shape on the nose. It's easier with a longer needle. Okay. Go in. Come out where the indent was made. And back in where you form your Y shape, and back out where you started. Okay. And you can repeat the same as you did with the eyelids. Make a tiny knot, snip it off, and hide it in your work. It's not coming out, I promise. Now, what I like to do is I like to take my felting needle and also just go over this a few times. That gives it this almost drawn on look. very simple. It's just keep poking at it. Very relaxing. Now for the assembly. After you've crocheted all your parts, like the limbs and the ears and the nose, everything, you can choose how you want to assemble your lamb. Like the first one I made lying down, but I'm going to show you how to assemble your lamb in a seated position. Okay, so let's put this one aside. See, oh, that's so cute. When assembling the limbs, pin everything in place first, so you know that everything is secure and it is where you want it to be, and that your lamb is perfectly balanced. Once you have everything pinned in place, you can start sewing. Making sure you secure that last stitch. There you go. Basically, you will repeat this with all three the other limbs.